Many of us have been kneading our life like this dough, harder, more effort, thinking that force alone will make it rise. But what if the secret isn't in the struggle, but in the starter you introduce when you walk away? Yes. Let's talk about the parable of the leaven, one of the 9 parables that Jesus described when he was trying to describe how to get to the kingdom of heaven, what the kingdom of heaven is like. So in this scripture, it is quoted, "The kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which a woman took and hid 3 measures of flour till it was all leavened." Before we even begin to break down this parable, let's first start with what is leaven for bread. Leaven is a small piece of fermented dough from a previous batch. So it's also known as like a sourdough starter, or what we would call yeast in this day and age. Some of the key characteristics of leaven is that it is small in quantity. You only need a little bit for it to activate the entire batch. So it is also very potent and active. And it is something that works from within. It works from within the middle of the dough and spreads throughout. This is where you mix it in, and this is where the transformation happens and it becomes widespread. Okay, so now that we understand what leaven for bread is, let's break down and look at the deeper meaning of this parable further. So a woman takes a pinch of leaven, just a bit of living sourdough starter, and then she hides it in 3 measures of flour. She folds it in, she covers it in the bowl, and then she walks away. She doesn't wrestle the dough. She introduces the new agent, and then she just lets the law do the work. The parable of the leaven is a lesson in how the mind of God moves through the mind of human. The woman represents our receptive feeling nature, our divine capacity to receive an idea and hold it in the fertile dark. She is your subconscious mind, the sacred gardener of us all. The 3 measures of flour, well, that's the whole substance of your life, our mind, body, and our soul. In its own raw potential form, it's flat. And the leaven in this parable is the potent active works from within, and then it becomes widespread. So in this story, you let it live with inside you and you leave it, and it becomes consistent and it works throughout. So this type of activation, when it's described what the kingdom of heaven is like, it's not a phrase of affirmation that you just repeat like an automaton, like a robot. It's really the reality that you decide to live in and to embody within that true evidence of who you are, to really fully embody your light body. The truth of you, the truth that you are made whole and in God's likeness and image, and that you are a child of God and that you are abundant. And once you decide and fully believe that, this becomes a living agent within inside of you. It's active and it begins to ferment from the inside out. So the way that anyone can begin to do this application and put it into practice is, first, you introduce the leaven, meaning that you introduce the new story, not from a way of like wishful thinking, but you actually begin to feel it inside as your core truth. You make it your command. This becomes an active principle. It's a very decisive choice. Then you fold it in. You stop arguing with the flat dough. You fold in the bullshit. You fold in your old story. You take the truthful, living, active affirmation into your consciousness through repetition and through feeling, and you let your receptive feeling nature, the woman, hold it and nurture it. This is the mixing in. This is the feeling and the kneading of the dough through feeling, not force or consistent action, but it is allowed to do the work in its own by covering it. That's when you cover it. You enter into a place of pause, a place of rest, of gestation, and you allow that part of the law, that gestation, to take over. This is the unseen work, and understanding that we don't dig up seed to see if it's growing. We trust that it's actively growing underneath the soil. We understand that things take their own cycle and season to grow. This is the law of gender and the law of rhythm working in tandem. So your job, your part, right, is to only tune into and hold on into being the gardener, to weeding out, to watering, and then to trusting and letting your receptive nature hold the feeling with the ease, and knowing that it's going to grow in its own appointed time, because then the whole will become leaven. A very small, powerful idea of abundance doesn't just give you $1. It transforms your entire relationship with supply, with money, with currency, when you change your perception of how your relationship is with abundance. The entire 3 measures of your life, your mind, body, and your soul, are lifted, expanded, and risen and transformed from within. This is the great alchemy of this parable, that letting us know that we don't change our life by struggling against our outer circumstances. We change our life by introducing a small, potent, living truth within our own consciousness, and then having the faith, which is the feeling, to let it do the work, the trust and knowing that it's going to do what it says it's going to do, because that it's law and that's how it works. You are the woman, you are the flower, and then you hold the feeling within your hand. So let me ask you this. What is one living sentence, one tiny pinch of potent truth that you need in your substance of your life today? And whatever that is, fold it in, cover it, and then let the unseen do the rest, because until we do so, we'll never be able to get to the baking of the bread. The kingdom of heaven is like baking some bread. So if we understand this parable, this analogy of allowing the law to do the work, like the leaven, like a small, tiny piece of dough, sourdough starter, yeast, whatever you want to call it, but it's just understanding how the agent within itself works. This is how you get to the kingdom. Till next time, y'all. Peace, be well.